been doing it for the past just since July started again because I want to be able to have time for us to be able just to wind down on a Wednesday, chill, have just overall nice vibes after work day and really getting into topics that matter. And so what we're going to be talking about today is really going to be about just overall the power of having resilience, have being whether part of a relationship, when part of these toxic relationships, when it comes from parents, when it comes from partners, ex-spouses, siblings, like understand that the power of resilience and just rising up from those types of toxic relationships. And so if you don't know who I am Samantha, a trauma and toxic relationship recovery expert, coach, and therapist. I want to be able to help you to break free from toxic relationships so you can establish a healthy relationship with yourself and other people. And I've worked with hundreds of women and men to help with this type of work. And if you have worked with me, let people know down below on how it has transformed you or changed you so we can just see the experience that you have had. I would like to just kind of come on Wednesdays and kind of really dive deep into these topics because it's really important to be able to talk about things that we overlook when it comes coming out of these relationships, because a lot of times we stay so stuck in these types of relationships we don't realize the power it has in you just being allowing yourself to just be there for you. All right. And we talked about a couple things this kind of past, these past weeks when it comes to, how therapy has shifted for you, how setting kind of the boundaries as well, the people pleasing part, just kind of really diving deep into that. If you have any questions when it comes to any topics, if you notice, I just kind of write things within the group or like what are things you're struggling with, and I will respond back to you when it comes to it because I want this to be a space where you're intentionally thriving. We want to, I know my mission is to be able to kind of help you work through that. Like I'm really trying to stop overall emotional abuse because I know how it feels because I've been through it before. And so you've heard me talk about last time in having strategy sessions. I wanted to be able to create something to allow for people who are going in the midst of it to really have that help, that transformation. But I can't always talk to every single person one on one. So I have the community is so important to me. So the people who are ready to dive deep into it know I'm doing 15-minute toxic relationship evaluation and strategy sessions to be able to kind of help you to work through it and have some steps to kind of help you with that process and kind of let you know exactly on how we can be able to work together in a community and so I can really pour into a few of you guys. So when it comes to resilience, I want to know on what is your thoughts on building resilience? Like how did you do it? So if you watch replay, type in replay and let me know on how you were able to build that resilience. Because resilience is a really powerful word. Okay. It's um it's really the art of being able to bounce back. And I have just kind of some notes so I don't forget anything. It's the art of being able to bounce back. It's the strength to stand tall even after a storm, when going through those relationships, you really feel like you've just are overall alone. So really um when even when you're in a storm and then you're trying to blow over it, you're trying to get through it and trying to build yourself after the types of relationships where you're able to trust people again, where you're able to dive deep into that. And I just had a client that I was talking to when it comes to trust, even after those kind of toxic friendships. And what I'm finding is that we allow the hurt that we've experienced to stay within us so long that we go in trying to be guarded, trying to make sure that we don't get hurt again, and understand that there's no way out. What I try to teach is that there's no way out of necessarily being hurt. But understand that the hurt doesn't have to be the same thing that you experienced before when coming from that toxic relationship. Hurt could be the fact of that you want to go to Bali in the morning and they want to go in the afternoon, right? It could look like the fact of you want to go to a lunch date, but they want to go to a dinner date. It doesn't have to necessarily be this big extravagant thing like affairs, cheating, or things that you have been through experience before. And so in allowing yourself to know that you can be able to fully feel within your relationships and learn how to know that with love does come hurt, but it's not to be this big thing. Okay. And so I really try to teach you guys that, but it takes work as you go through the healing experience of just overall being there for yourself. So now let's just overall just got to get real here. I know many of you have been in a toxic relationship that has tried to uproot you, tried to rob you of your joy, your peace, your sense of self. And I want you to know that I see you because I get it. Yeah, I've definitely been in that situation. This is why I do the work I do because I know exactly how it feels. You're not crazy. You went through something that was really traumatic. And no one really likes to take the time to recognize it. So just want you to know that I do see you and I do recognize the fact of what you've been through. So um, I want you to know that it's not just about surviving those kind of turbulent times, it's also about thriving after them. And that's why we call this group intentionally thriving. And if you are on YouTube, know that we talk about this in my Facebook community, intentionally thriving, life after a narcissist. Because it's all of this, when you're thriving, all the thriving part is about building that resilience. Okay. And let me know in what ways that you have took the time to thrive after something like that, because I know that can be really difficult and challenging. So really a lot of the questions I get is, what does moving forward look like? What does resilience look like? Well, I want you to know it's not about necessarily forgetting your past or the pain that you've experienced. It's about learning from it, growing through it, and coming out feeling more empowered version of yourself and really authentically you, which is my main thing that I kind of work through is when coming out of those relationships, being authentically you. And it's also about reclaiming your power, asserting your boundaries, and committing to your self-worth. Right? So I want you to really think of resilience as a muscle, right? Like it is not something that you just do one time and that's it. Like you have to consistently, you have to work at it. And the more you work at it, the stronger that it becomes. Each time you face adversity, you have the opportunity to strengthen this muscle. Okay, you survived that toxic relationship, right? Didn't you? A lot of times we still might be going through it a little bit, but you survived it. And so that the what you did to get yourself out of it when it either come to a friendship or relationship, I want you to know that that is resilience. The fact that you chose you. But we don't want to stop there. Okay. We want to keep strengthening that resilience muscle. So, one way to do this is by practicing just overall self compassion and allowing yourself to be there for you. It's okay to stumble, to have moments of doubt, moments of weakness. Don't beat yourself up over these moments. I want you to really truly show yourself kindness and understanding. And I really want you to think about on what if someone was going through the exact same situation as you, maybe it was a close friend, what would you tell them? How would you be there for them? And it's interesting on how we will show up so much for a friend but not show up for ourselves. And let me know if that's something that you have done, right? Because a lot of times we do this and it's challenging to realize on how we just show up for people more than we show up for us when we have to deal with us every day and wake up to ourselves every day. So remember, every step you take, no matter how small, is a step towards healing. You even looking at this video is a step towards healing because you're learning something new and how you can start building that resilience. Okay. Another way to build resilience is through supportive relationships, like having this community here. Your participation and letting us know what's going on. And I know it's hard to kind of let people know what's going on that you don't know, but this is the point. We're not able to see you if you don't say anything, right? If I don't show up and kind of let you guys know exactly how you can work through this, then you won't be able to get that information. You won't be able to kind of see on how to do it or what I'm able to overall help you with. Right? So surround yourself with people who will uplift you, validate your feelings, and remind you of your worth. Understand that it's okay to lean in on strength, on the strength. Lean in on others for strength as you heal. We are not meant to go through this journey alone. So remember, resilience isn't built in a day, okay? It is a process. And it's okay to take your time. It's okay to have days when you feel strong and days when you don't. What's important is that you keep going, that you keep striving to build your resilience. Now, I want you to know that I'd love to hear from you. How do you build your resilience? What does resilience look like to you or look like for you? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments because I make sure to just respond to each and every one of you. And before we wrap up, I want to remind you all about just overall um, the Pain to Peace Academy, knowing that you have your 15-minute toxic relationship evaluation and strategy session that you can also use. I'm only doing it for a limited time. My one-on-ones are pretty booked up usually. So I just want to be able to make time to have this consultation where you can be able to be part of this, beta program and seeing on how we can be able to kind of get you a space where we can get you, feeling healed in less than less than 10 weeks if you just really put the work in. And we can be able to do that. And the people who sign up for that, for just the beta program, also will get just for a limited time, just one free, one bonus, a bonus that's added on for having a one-on-one with me for 45 minutes to kind of really get more about your situation. Uh, if if that's something that you want to do and really pour into yourself this year, because I notice that the people who invest in themselves and put the time in, put their investments into something like that and put the commitment in are the ones who do the work and heal and become out differently in how they show up with themselves and to the world and to their future relationships. So it's it's a community built specifically to provide support, tools, and strategies to help you break free from the chains of toxic relationships and start building that resilience. So know that I'm definitely offering this 15-minute consultation calls to be able to kind of get the evaluation of the relationship and the strategies to kind of help you through this. It's an opportunity for us to talk one-on-one about your journey and discuss how we can further develop your resilience. If you're interested, drop a comment or send me a direct message to schedule a call. I also will have a link that's in my uh, just bio and on my website as well that I'll put in there. Remember, you are stronger than your past. You're more than your pain. And with resilience, you can create a future that's authentically yours. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, keep shining your light. Have a good night.